music making a difference. This is Jazz in the Spirit with Richard DeBrew Jr. Hello, everybody. It's great to see you again. This is Richard DeBrew Jr., of course, gospel jazz saxophonist, pianist, and songwriter. And y'all know I love this music. Woohoo! So, first, I want to give some proud dad love to my son, Richard DeBrew III, who likes to go by Rick now. He's celebrating his 21st birthday today. So look out, world. I also got to give a public shout out and thank you to Dr. Jawanda Rollins-Fells and my dear sister Iris Burris and the whole team at Spirit of Excellence for placing my entire Jazz in the Spirit album, full-length versions, as well as all the music as I've released since then in rotation in their newly formed and newly launched 24-hour gospel online radio station. It's called powerofoneradio.com. One more time, powerofoneradio.com. Please go check them out. They also have a really nice picture of me on the marquee of the station. Hey, on the homepage. So, and there are links to download or stream my music. So everyone who visits that station gets to see me. And the crazy part is I didn't ask them to do that. And I didn't give them any money to do that. They just did it to be a blessing to me, and I am so grateful. So Spirit of Excellence, thank you all so much. Once again, y'all, support those who support you. And please tune in to powerofoneradio.com for 24-hour commercial-free gospel music, including mine. Yeah. They also, those of you that got a chance to check it out this past Saturday, I did about a 2-hour just live saxophone broadcast. I called it Vibin', and the video from that, they shared it on Facebook, and in just 4 days it had over 400 views and was shared 29 times. So there's just a lot of love going on there, and I really, really appreciate it. So for all that support, once again, Spirit of Excellence folks, I thank you so much. To the matter at hand, we are about to conclude our Black History Month spotlight on Mr. Tyrone Birkett and the body of work that he has named Postmodern Spirituals, which now we know some more about because he's given us an explanation about it and he's spoken about it some more. Let me let you all say hi to Mr. Tyrone Birkett. You coming on the thing there too? Let's see. All right. So, Mr. Tyrone Birkett, there you go in the stream. Let's get you on Instagram too. Can you do that one again for me? All right. So, Mr. Tyrone Birkett, there you go in the stream. Let's get you on Instagram too. Can you do that one again for me?
Yeah, it's coming up.
All right. Yeah. Sweet. There he is.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tyrone Birkett, welcome back.
Nice to be back. Nice to be
here. Yeah, dude. So before we get into the topic for today, we want to let the folks hear a little bit more of your music. So there's this song, just want to shift it a little bit. There's this song that you were telling me about. It's called The Departure. And so I want to let them hear some of that. Did you want to tell them anything about it beforehand or just let the music speak?
Oh, okay. Real quick, The Departure, it's a song metaphorically and literally as a freedom song. It's talking about going really starting on the journey from freedom in however you would view oppression. It would be your own personal situation, looking back at our ancestors, the enslaved, it would be their particular situation. And you're getting ready to, let's say if you were with Harriet Tubman and, you were hiding out 2:00 in the morning, you're like ready to go. Everybody's ready to go. And this song is the beginning of that adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be for your personal life. Like we have that old gospel song, I'm running for my life. So it can be your own personal life, or we can look back historically and make it literal instead of metaphorical.
Sweet.
Hmm.
All right, so y'all, this is Tyrone Birkett, Emancipation, The Departure. Here we go.
Now is the day to begin my journey, traveling home, ready to go. Freedom of mind is where I'm going, that's where I long to be. Leaving all the fear that would stop me, moving straight ahead. Nothing will hinder me, ready to see promised land. What will happen tomorrow? Don't wanna live yesterday, but I know one brand new morning I'll be on the other side. Yes, I know some days will be rough, but I am not alone. He is there with me every step of the way.
Is that where you wanted me to pause right there?
Yeah, because that the rest of the song is like 7 minutes,
Oh
seven
yeah.
6 minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you want to,
Well, you
we
about
can.
to cook it out right there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Let's see. Uh, so let me see. Now, are you able to hear me over there? I know someone said that they couldn't hear me on the Instagram, folks.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. So how about now?
Okay.
All right. Because I know there was at one point there was an echo. I was trying to make sure we
Yeah,
didn't
it
get.
is. It is somewhat of an echo.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold up. Still there?
Yeah, it's still there, and they say they can't hear you.
Oh, can't hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. Let's see. How about now? Y'all hear me, Instagram folks?
Yeah, she said she can hear you now.
Okay, no echo here. Okay, cool. Good, good, good. All right. So, there we go. So now we wanted to just give y'all a little more taste of Tyrone and his stuff. You can hear all now. Awesome. So that was a song called "The Departure,"
Right.
and you heard him talk about it already. And that is once again on the album called "Postmodern Spirituals." Really, really nice. Just a diverse array of music on there. So please check that out. And newfreedomsongs.com is how you can find Tyrone and a lot of his stuff there. So today I want to jump into this topic we were talking about. It is called "Keeping the Main Thing," Part 2. And this is keeping the God connection. So let me set it up a little bit here. The last time we talked about making a difference by being a thermostat and setting the temperature through your music rather than just being a thermometer and adjusting to whatever temperature is going on at the moment. So today I want to go to something else we've been talking about recently. Tyrone and we both grew up in the black church watching people get caught up or touched by the spirit, in response to music being played. But we've also played in secular venues where people simply think of it and its spiritual impact as a cultural phenomenon. So, Tyrone, I want you to give me your thoughts on that whole phenomenon as it relates to postmodern spirituals you compose and arrange now.
Um, it can go a lot of different ways. And in terms of my personal experience, or as an observer, or because it all can come back to my particular concept. Looking at it as my, I guess a good way to look at it is a kind of in a universal sense, because I don't want to be too. One thing I don't like is being too churchy, because sometimes it's too um, inclusive. So Alice Coltrane, she remarked, not a remark, I mean, gave us a very profound observation in terms of A Love Supreme, John Coltrane's A Love Supreme. John Coltrane was one of the premier saxophone innovators. I won't even say just jazz. I won't even say just saxophone. One of the premier innovators in music, period. He
Mm-hmm.
influenced rock, and I mean classical. Even in some cases, people talk about electronic music. So very influential. If you play saxophone, you know who he is. You like jazz, you know who he is. Um, when he composed "A Love Supreme," he had went upstairs and he didn't come back. There's different times that are given, but let's say he stayed up there for, at least one night, a whole day. Again, that's debatable. And when he came down, he told Alice he had the whole suite figured out because he was upstairs meditating. So he came and brought in, he said, I know how to do the whole thing now. Everything is composed, everything is together. So it's the dynamic of having a spiritual connection to what you're doing. And then also looking at it from the vantage point of a listener and saying, when I hear this, I hear not just music, but I hear something else going on, the essence of something else. And that's the spiritual element that was in his music. When you hear accounts of John Coltrane playing in clubs, people would leave screaming, holding their heads, saying that it's so much music, it's so much music. And I think that in terms of the music that is done under the banner, roughly somewhat of gospel music, I think that in jazz, I think that that element needs to be added in more. I mean, we have artists, and I don't want to make a judgment about it, but just looking at how can we really be able to say, okay, well, if I am a Christian, or if I am a Christ follower, how am I exemplifying that same spiritual force, that same spiritual element in the music? So I look at postmodern spirituals as a way to do that. We should be doing more than, well, let's not say we, let's say for myself, I believe that I should be doing more than just giving people a good feeling, but people should be leaving with a spiritual renewal, a spiritual revival. When people went to see Mahalia Jackson, or when people went to see Aretha Franklin, and let's say that didn't depend on what type of music Aretha Franklin was singing, they knew that they heard a spiritual essence in the music. If you go to a concert and see Beyonce, there's a spiritual element that's in the music. So I think that that's important so that we really get, closer to really the spiritual healing part of the music rather than just giving people a show per se. So in
You can say that
postmodern
again.
spirituals, that's what I want. I want people to hear the music and say, "Wow, that wasn't just great music," and that I didn't just enjoy the music, but when I left, like we spoke before, when we would have concerts and people would leave, and even the musicians said, "This wasn't a concert. This was like a community, or this was something like church or something."
Yeah.
And again, in my live performances, I'm not doing gospel, quote unquote. I'm not preaching. I don't think that that's really so much what's necessary. I think it's just that you have to just be a messenger, be a conduit of, if you're saying that, okay, God is your source, and you're talking about you have a personal relationship with that source, then your music should be reflective of that. If that's what you choose to do. I don't know if you want me to go on. I can give some anecdotes, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, I mean, I was gonna go into that as my next question. So just keep flowing, bro.
Yeah, it's your
You in
show,
the
but I
zone.
could I could just sit here and talk,
Oh, I
as you
know it.
know. So when I did not start out necessarily as a performance. I started out more um, as a service. It was really as a service. My father was a minister, and in both church and secular venues, um, I would go to prisons, hospitals with him, and you had a lot of situations where, he could not actually really preach, but he had to give a motivating message. He had to give, as we say, a message song type message. But the
Yeah.
music would always be able to permeate the atmosphere. So, and I can give you many. I mean, for me, it was it was like a weekly, daily occurrence, because that's how I came up. I
Right.
didn't
Right.
come
Right.
up, with school scholarships and recitals and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't come up in that way. I came up, basically, like I said, the music as being a service. So I had, real quick, I had to play at uh, a men's rehabilitation facility in Pennsylvania, and my saxophone was not. It was being repaired. So my instrument, I had to get a loaner instrument. So like I'm like, okay, I don't know this instrument. It was um, kind of it was kind of it was similar to my instrument, but it was not. And let me know if you can't hear. Uh, it was similar to my instrument, but it was older. So the model, so I was very uncomfortable with it because I'd only played my instrument. You know how that is. So I was like, "Oh God, I don't let me go to this place and sound like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm crazy because I don't have my instrument." I said, I want to be able to, be of service to the people and be that conduit, be that spiritual conduit. So we went and played, because it was songs that were featuring me. It was a men's choir, and really, that's a whole nother story. So it was a men's choir, but it was a song featuring me. And then I started playing and came to my part. I just closed my eyes. and I just played, and people were just screaming. They were just like, because again, this is not church. This is not church. So people were screaming, people were laughing. I opened my eyes for a minute to find out what was going on. People were crying, and men were like walking and pacing up and down and whatnot. And again, this was not really new to me, but it was very significant to me because I had felt really inadequate in terms of the tools that I had. So that was one experience. I can go on because,
Mm-hmm.
we travel to these different venues almost on a weekly basis, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And I mean, this is outside of playing in actual churches. So through that, I learned for myself, it's more important to be that spiritual conduit than to, show people what I've done or what I worked on or what I practiced on, and just to give people you know, a good time, but what is it that they can leave with that tomorrow and the next day and the next week, the effect is still ongoing in a very positive way. Spiritually, you're talking about another level as opposed to happiness and pleasure listening to music. You're talking about a very deeper level than that.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I'm going back and forth because of this little echo thing, but dude, I really thank you for that. And y'all, you might have seen there were some times when you were talking where there were a bunch of hearts that went
Yeah.
up as people were just kind of really resonating. What you were saying was really resonating with them. So, y'all, we have heard from someone who is very conversant in the the styles we know as gospel, the styles we know as jazz, and mixing the two together, and now his own particular niche that he's created, both from a stylistic standpoint with the postmodern spiritual concept, and also from an approach standpoint, and being able to be independent truly, because funding his own projects through grants and those kinds of things. So we really have heard a lot this month, and I believe that it's appropriate and empowering to hear this during Black History Month. So the scripture says, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church." And that's not just the Christian. That's everybody who's listening. So if you have not had a chance to check out the information that Tyrone has shared, it's on all of those platforms. On Instagram, you see this big green flyer. On all the other ones, you might see just the picture of the link. But there's a lot of very good information there about how you can write grants, where to start with that whole process to fund projects that you might be interested in. And he just told me today, he's like, it might be easier than So
Definitely.
so just
Definitely.
try it. A lot of our folks kind of rule themselves out before they even try, but I would definitely encourage you to try. And Tyrone, thank you for sharing that with us. That
Sure.
is awesome. And on another note, I wanted to know from you all, especially instrumentalists, if there is some interest here, because I need y'all to respond here. I need y'all to either put some messages in the chat or send us direct messages, whatever, about some of the, you've heard some pretty deep improvisation going on here with Tyrone. And I had asked him if he might be interested in leading something, for a group of folks, like a forum or a masterclass about his approach to improvisation as it relates to these styles of music. Now, that's not going to be for everybody, of course, but if there are some folks that are interested in that, and we can get a group to sign up together, and we can work that out. We're not going to ask him to just give what he gives freely. We're going to be a blessing to him. Amen. Put that out there from jump, because he's already writing grants and all. So, this is a man who, his work is valuable and his time is valuable. But if there's some interest there, and I really believe that there is, just let us know that, and we can set up something with the great Mr. Tyrone Birkett of New York City. And so if you want to do that, of course, we're here on Facebook, we're here on YouTube, we're here on Twitch, we're here on Twitter, we're here on Instagram. Or you can send a message directly to Tyrone, newfreedomsongs@gmail.com. You can just let him know how much you appreciate what he's doing, and just encourage his heart, because it's not always easy to blaze a new trail and to be a pioneer.
Oh, definitely not.
But
Yes.
what a wonderful thing it can be to do that. So Ty, dude, it has been so awesome having you here on the show.
Great. Thank you.
Especially in
Thank you.
person.
Yeah, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah. So any parting words that you want to leave with the folks before we head out of here?
Just in the midst of everything that's going on, just to, um, just to stay positive, stay hopeful. Again, that's what a lot of my music is for. Is a response to what people see going on around them, and just remember to keep hopeful, keep for those that pray, keep praying. For those that, if you meditate, keep meditating. It's just important that we don't allow ourselves to get mired in hopelessness and in despair and in fear. Because again, looking at it from a spiritual perspective, how that's meant to really dislodge us and really, we want to really, have a strong anchor as opposed to just be swept by this and that. So, stay strong and, be able to see yourself in the world and understand who you are in the world and make a positive contribution, instead of, let's try to do that and spread some love, spread some good vibes instead of, being fearful and, and oh my gosh, don't let that get to your spirit. I understand it intellectually, but don't let that get to your spirit. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you, dude. Really appreciate that. And I see everyone else does too, because the hearts have been going as you were talking. So
Great.
Y'all just remember, you can find Tyrone Birkett at newfreedomsongs.com. And just so you're clear, the BIR, not BUR,
Yes.
BIRKE and 2 T's. So Tyrone Birkett, BIRKETT.
Right.
All right. And newfreedomsongs.com is where you can find his music. So continue to seek out and enjoy postmodern spirituals. I hope that y'all have enjoyed that. I know that I have. And now next month, we got her on the line right here too. We are going to hear from the other half, some say the better half of the Birkett clan. We're going to hear from powerhouse vocalist Miss Paula Ralph Birkett, who is Tyrone's wife. And next week, we're going to be here with her at 9 p.m. So we're really, really excited to celebrate Women's History Month and kick that off with Miss Paula. And she's got her own repertoire of stuff. She's got some she does some speaking, she does some poetry, she does all kinds of wonderful stuff. But I'm going to let her tell it herself. But Paula, thanks for being on here today and for all of your help and for keeping Tyrone straight. So tune in next Wednesday. We're going to be talking to Miss Paula Ralph Birkett. So we also, of course, want to invite you to like and follow and subscribe to Jazz in the Spirit, so you can hear more about what's going on. And as you do that, also, excuse me, remember that we are fusing music, we are connecting people, and we are making a difference. So if you don't remember anything else about what Jazz in the Spirit is all about, remember that. We're all in this together. Yes, Paula, that's right. You heard from her directly. So, folks, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and we're going to get our little theme song going on to close out the night. And I wish you all a wonderful night, and thank you so much. Be blessed. All right. Fusing music, connecting people, making a difference. This is Jazz in the Spirit with Richard DeBrew Jr. All right. Good night, everyone. God bless.